All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube, this is Pastor Dowell. Well, the Democrats and the liberals are definitely going to have something to answer to about this one. Why? Because according to this document right here, President Trump signs executive order to revitalize urban communities. What does that mean? That means that he has allocated through the tax bills, his tax cuts, I think like $100-something billion to actually bring up these urban areas and these communities that basically has actually been destroyed and has been deindustrialized by the policies of Barack Hussein Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton that has came before him. Now, in this particular article right here, or not even article, when you even go to the news clip, and what's amazing to me is that it's not even reported on mostly. Now, also, the people who claim discrimination and racism, they got something to answer for, because either this man's a racist or he's not. I mean, there are things that I think that he says and he does that will constitute him being a racist. Then on the other hand, there's things that he says and does that doesn't constitute a racist. But after all, the court of public opinion has nothing but to look at the facts and judge for yourself. Now, the truth is, this is a campaign promise that he had made, showing that he wasn't blowing hot air during campaigns like so many other people have done. He didn't try to deceive the people. Now, it's also mentioned in his news clip right here and in the article that this is something that has been ignored. He didn't call any previous presidents' names. He said this is something that has literally been ignored. Because you remember, I do remember that Barack Hussein Obama said that these jobs are not coming back. They're literally not coming back. That's what the Democrats have said. What's also disturbing about this particular thing is that, listen to this, he had to sign an executive order in order to get this done. That means with a stroke of a pen while he's in office, this stuff is binding. I don't know how the executive order is going to do after he leaves office, but I can tell you this, that thing is binding. Now, it also tells you that he had no support whatsoever at all from Congress. Couldn't even get it through Congress. And then he also talks a little bit later on about criminal justice reform. Now, myself personally, I've been on here searching and looking, and I noticed a total media blackout. Now, on this video, you'll see cameras going off left and right. You'll see Ben Carson and all these other preachers and stuff, and a lot of black people standing behind him on this right here. But the whole ideal is that they're giving incentives to corporations, giving incentives to companies to move into distressed areas. Not only this, the incentive is that there will be no capital gains tax levied against these companies for 10 years. Man, you know how many companies is probably looking at that going, wow. Now, we know GM ain't looking at that because they're kicking traces. They shut down, I think they're shutting down 5 plants over here in the United States of America, but they're keeping 5 open in Mexico. Now, think about this for a second. 8,000 cities literally has been designated to receive this federal funding. And all of it literally has come through the actual tax cuts that he had mentioned earlier. So, if you've got severely neglected communities, and the majority of these are urban areas where a lot of Americans, black Americans live at. I don't like the term African American. That was created by Jesse Jackson in the 80s, but not by us. But anyway, and now they try to label everybody that because they have a melanated skin. I don't agree with it whatsoever at all. But they can actually build a plant in these neighborhoods, and the good thing about it is that they must hold this property at least 10 years. And all this, again, I've said for a third time, it is in the tax cut bill. What's disturbing to me and what we should focus on more than anything for this revitalization of urban communities is this. We have a lot of so-called elected representatives that are up there in the outhouse or the White House. And they act like that they're representing the best interests of Americans. But think about this. When he said from the very beginning, this is something that has literally been ignored by previous administrations. Why did he have to sign an executive order to get this allocated to these urban communities, making good on a campaign promise, but he couldn't get it through Congress? I know one thing. We all better start really truly looking at things a whole lot more closer than what media or some media people are telling us. Because, you know, it's just like when Barack Hussein Obama was in office. When President Barack Hussein Obama was in office, there's nothing he could have did good. He couldn't do nothing good, according to Fox News. Now, if you turn around, and now that you got Donald J. Trump, President Donald J. Trump in the office, now CNN is reporting, and there ain't nothing that he can do good. So American people, is up to all of us to be able to read between the lines if we ever going to actually get the truth of everything. Now, the truth is, people can try to argue, they can try to fight, but you cannot say that on this particular move right here that Donald Trump is a racist or racism is involved. Now, most people, they don't care. They don't care. They're going to argue. They don't care what's being said. They don't care how many billions of dollars been allocated. Donald Trump can't do no good. Also, just like on the other flip side, you have these irrational people that said that Obama couldn't do no good. Now, what they get messed up about me is that when somebody does something I perceive to be wrong and against the best interest of the public, I talk about it. When they do it right and it's for the best interest of the public, I talk about it. In other words, I'm not painting a broad brush one way or the other. I'm just telling it like it is. And even at that, I realize I run the risk of being called all types of names, all type of disparaging comments, people typing in a bunch of nonsensical statements down here in these comment blocks and everything. And some of you, I just don't comprehend where your mind originates from and where it even comes from in the first place. It just don't make no sense to me. But when truth is being supported and he's actually doing what he said he's going to do, you got to give kudos. You've just got to tell the truth. If he does something that is opposite of what he said he was going to do, or something that is against American people, you got to speak truth to power on that too. There has to be a balance. Now, I'm saying to you, I'll find a news source and I'll put it down here in the description box. You tell me, what saith you?